Here is a summary of what happened in 2025 in F1. On the podium for this race, we had George Russell in third, Max Verstappen in second, and Lando Norris in first. Notable moments from this race include Isaac Hadjar spinning out on the formation lap, Oscar Piastri spinning on the last corner with only a few laps to go, and Kimi Antonelli going from 16th to 4th. On the podium for this race was George Russell in third, Lando Norris in second, and Oscar Piastri in first. Notable moments include Ocon getting P5 and Ferrari having a double disqualification. On the podium for this race was Oscar Piastri in third, Lando Norris in second, and Max Verstappen in first. Notable moments include the fact this was Yuki Tsunoda's first race at Red Bull. On the podium for this race was Lando Norris in third, George Russell in second, and Oscar Piastri in first, and there was no notable moments for this race. On the podium in this race was Charles Leclerc P3, Max Verstappen P2, and Oscar Piastri P1, and there was no notable moments from the race. On the podium for this race was George Russell in third, Lando Norris in second, Oscar Piastri in first, and there was no notable moments. On the podium for this race was Oscar Piastri in third, Lando Norris in second, and Max Verstappen in first, and notable moments include Franco Colapinto making his Alpine debut. On the podium for this race was Oscar Piastri in third, Charles Leclerc in second, and Lando Norris in first. And notable moments from this race include Mercedes forgetting that they had to pit twice at the Monaco Grand Prix. On the podium in this race was Charles Leclerc P3, Lando Norris P2, Oscar Piastri P1. Notable moments include Max Verstappen hitting George Russell and Nico Hülkenberg overtaking Lewis Hamilton while in a Sauber. On the podium in this race was Kimi Antonelli in third, Max Verstappen in second, and George Russell in first, and notable moments include Lando Norris's DNF with 3 laps to go. On the podium in this race was Charles Leclerc P3, Oscar Piastri P2, and Lando Norris P1, and notable moments include Sauber getting double points in Austria. On the podium for this one was Nico Hülkenberg in P3, Oscar Piastri in P2, and Lando Norris in P1. And notable moments include Pierre Gasly getting P6 in an Alpine. On the podium at Belgium was Charles Leclerc P3, Lando Norris P2, Oscar Piastri P1. And notable moments from this race was the fact we had a rolling start rather than a standing start. On the podium in Belgium, we had George Russell P3, Oscar Piastri P2, and Lando Norris P1. And notable moments from the race was Gabriel Bortoleto finishing in 6th. On the podium in this race was Isaac Hadjar in third, Max Verstappen in second, and Oscar Piastri in first. Notable moments from this race include Antonelli and Leclerc's crash, and also Lando Norris's DNF due to engine failure. On the podium in this race was Oscar Piastri in P3, Lando Norris P2, Max Verstappen P1. And the notable moments from this race were the papyrals coming into play, where Lando Norris asked to be pitted second, and after he came out behind Piastri, McLaren told Piastri to let Lando back by.
Welcome to Skibbity Toilet Baku, my dudes.
On the podium in this race was Carlos Sainz in third, George Russell second, Max Verstappen first. Notable moments from the race include Piastri's DNF on lap 1, the cat that got into the paddock, and also the meme of the screaming kids. On the podium in this race was Lando Norris P3, Max Verstappen P2, George Russell in first, and notable moment from this race was McLaren winning the Constructors' title and celebrating it without Piastri. On the podium in this race was Charles Leclerc P3, Lando Norris P2, and Max Verstappen P1, and there was no notable moments. On the podium in this race was Max Verstappen third, Charles Leclerc second, Lando Norris third, and notable moments include Oliver Bearman getting on the podium in a Haas and George Russell's rant on the radio.
The temperatures are sky high. George, let's get these under control.
Marcus, I've got a car in my... Okay? A car much quicker than ours. I'm trying to hold position. I've got much more pace than Kimi here, and we can fight for a podium. I'm happy to give the position back if I don't achieve it, but my tyres are just getting sacked here.
Understood. But we do need to get these tyres to the end of the race.
Antonelli.
On the podium in this race was Max Verstappen in P3, Kimi Antonelli P2, and Lando Norris winning it. And notable moments from this race include Antonelli holding off Verstappen for second and Gabriel Bortoletto's big crash.
Vegas, baby!
On the podium in this race was Antonelli third, George Russell second, and Max Verstappen first. Notable moments from this race include McLaren double disqualification and Kimi Antonelli managing to finish in fourth, fifth, and third. On the podium in this race was Carlos Sainz in third, Oscar Piastri second, and Max Verstappen first. Notable moment from this race was McLaren messing up their strategy, which cost them the win.
It's the final countdown.
On the podium in this race was Lando Norris third, Oscar Piastri second, Max Verstappen first. And notable moment from this race was Lando Norris winning his first championship.
Lando, this is Zach from McLaren. Is this the World Champion Hotline?